Chapter 1 of Ramayana's Kishkinda Kanda. Sugriva sends Hanuman to Rama. Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunataya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Sugriva was seated on one of the peaks of the hill, and he had 4 monkeys with him. From this vantage point he could see everything, everywhere, and his roving eyes rested on Rama and Lakshmana, who had arrived at the foot of the hill. They were walking slowly with halting steps. Their eyes were questioning and seemed to be looking for something. They were eager to find out where Sugriva was, and seeing them and their searching looks, Sugriva's mind was alerted and fear crept into his heart. From a distance, he discerned the 2 strangers in the vicinity of his hiding place, and Sugriva, though brave by nature, was sorely perplexed by the sight of strangers on the hill. He was afraid of them and he did not know what to do. They were all scared of the coming of the 2 strangers, and quickly they hid themselves in a cave which was nearby. Sugriva was afraid since these tapaswins were armed. His eyes were wandering all over the place and his fear was excessive. He was only too well aware of the strength of his brother Vali and his own inefficiency as far as Vali was concerned. With his voice trembling with fear, he said, "These 2 are sent by Vali. I am sure of it. Or else how could they have passed the forest which is considered to be impenetrable? They are dressed as sannyasins, but that is only a guise, since they carry bows and arrows, and I can see the gleam of swords at their waists. No tapasvin will attire himself thus. Let us choose a safe place where we can hide ourselves." Sugriva's ministers were with him, and the chief of them was Hanuman. He knew the dread which was in the heart of Sugriva. Hanuman, who was well versed in the art of conversing, spoke with humility. "Forget this fear of Vali, my lord. This mountain is safe from the attack of Vali, since he is forbidden by the Rishi's curse to set foot on it. I do not see Vali anywhere. Be firm in your faith as far as the safety of this Rishyamukha is concerned." Sugriva said, "Look at this, 2 persons coming this way, Hanuman. They look like divine beings. They are handsome and they seem to be extremely strong. They are armed and I am frightened, and so will you be if you had been oppressed as I have been. I suspect them to have been sent by Vali to kill me. I am sure of it. Kings have different people to aid them in their rule. It is essential for us to know who they are before we dismiss them as harmless wanderers. Vali is very clever and is capable of using human beings as his aids. Hanuman, I want you to go to them, talk to them cleverly and get all the information about them. Try and see if you can find out the reason for their coming here. You are wise and you will be able to find out all about them, I know. If they are guileless, win them over with flattering words and make them reveal their real purpose in coming to this mountain. Go to these men who are armed with bows and arrows and find out about them. It will be easy for you to find out if they are good men. If they are, make friends with them." Hanuman, who was the son of Vayu, agreed to obey the commands of his master and proceeded to where Rama and his dear Lakshmana were wandering. To appear in the guise of a brahmachari seemed to him to be a wise decision, since he did not know who the 2 strangers were. From the top of the mountain he reached the neighborhood of the princess very soon, since he leaped from tree to tree and from rock to rock. He went to the presence of Rama and Lakshmana and welcomed them to the mountain with very sweet words and in a charming manner. Hanuman said, "You seem to be Rajarshis and you appear to be divine beings. I have been watching you and you are looking for something on the slopes of this mountain. You are watching the trees and the herds of deer which pass you by, and you are, to my mind, observing strict penance. I am intrigued as to who you may be. You appear to be sannyasins, but your weapons and the fact that you are both armed seem to belie it. I can see eagerness in your steps and a semblance of impatience as though you are seeking something. Bravery seems to have taken a form in the two of you. Serene as the surface of a lake, your faces express courage in the face of misfortunes. Your radiance is like that of a molten gold, and your sighs express some sorrow which is lodged in your minds. Your gaits like that of lions, your wide chests and your powerful arms, your bows, which are as glorious as the bow of Indra, make me eager to know who you may be. Your handsomeness is captivating. I am convinced that you are royal personages, though your garbs are those of mendicants. This mountain, the river which flows here, the water of Pampa, have gained an added glow because of your presence. You resemble each other so much that I can easily guess you are brothers. With your eyes like the petals of the lotus, with your divine looks, you make me wonder. It seems to me as though the sun and moon have abandoned the heavens and have come down to the earth for some heavenly purpose. What is the reason behind your wandering in this place which is devoid of human beings? Your arms are bare, but it is apparent that they should be wearing ornaments made of gold. Perhaps you have come here to guard this beautiful mountain, which is even more lovely than the Vindhya or the Meru. Your bows, which are looking so powerful, and these arrows like flames, are never at rest, I am sure. Once your anger is roused. These swords look like serpents which are asleep. They gleam like serpents which have just shed their skins. I will tell you who I am. There is a good and powerful monkey chief by name Sugriva. He has been driven out of his kingdom by his brother, and this Sugriva has been wandering about on the slopes of this Rishyamukha. My name is Hanuman, and I have been sent by him to find out about you. Sugriva desires friendship with you. I am a monkey and I can assume any form I wish. To find out about you, I assume this guise of a brahmachari. As I told you, I am a monkey and I am the son of Vayu. I am one of the faithful servants of Sugriva and one of his mentors. Jai Shri Hanuman. Jai Shri Ram. Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanama Varanane. Om Shri Hanuman. Om Shri Ramar Pranamast. Chapter 1 of Ramayana's Kishkinda Kanda. Sugriva sends Hanuman to Rama. Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunataya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Hanuman said nothing more and stood waiting for them to reply. Rama was thrilled by the words of Hanuman. He turned to Lakshmana and said, Lakshmana, we have been looking for Sugriva, and this messenger from him is his mentor. He has approached me with a desire to be friends with me. This Hanuman speaks beautifully. He seems to be a very sincere person and pure in mind. I want you to talk to him. I am sure he is well versed in the Vedas, or else he would not have been able to talk so well. He knows all the three Vedas. He is a master of grammar, and while he spoke, I could not find a single mistake in the formation of his sentences. His entire personality is very attractive and his voice is very pleasing and attractive too. Pitched low in the Madhyama, his voice is musical to the ears. He spoke well too. His manner of talking was convincing, sharp, and spontaneous. It was genuine, straight from his heart, and I could detect no deception in him. His words were so well formed, scholarly, clearly spoken, that they are to be praised to the utmost. With his words which rose from the heart, neck and head, which are bewitching, how can even an enemy resist him? Fortunate is Sugriva to have such a gem as his minister. All his desires and plans will succeed if Hanuman is the mentor for him. His deeds will all be accomplished by the messenger himself. So capable is he. Lakshmana turned to Hanuman and said, "We have already been told about your master Sugriva and about the misfortune which has been visited on him. We have been wandering here on the slopes of this mountain in search of this same Sugriva. We were asked to meet him and forge a friendship with him. Please think about our desire and the commands of your master and do what you think is best under the circumstances. We will do anything you deem is wise." Hanuman was extremely pleased with his words. He was happy about the success of his mission. He decided to take them to the presence of Sugriva and wished that the friendship between the two should be formed at once. He thought to himself, They have also come to the forest with some task where they need assistance. It seems as though the troubles of my master will soon be things of the past because of these two men. He may regain his kingdom." Hanuman asked Rama, "Can you tell me why you are wandering in these fearful forests on the banks of Pampa? It is ridden with fierce animals and there is not a single human being here. I am curious to know." Again, Rama looked at Lakshmana as if to say, "Answer him." Lakshmana said, "There was an emperor named Dasharatha who ruled the world. He was a righteous man and never once has he swerved from the path of Dharma. He had no enemies since he did not consider anyone to be such. He had performed many yajnas and he was a devotee of the Lord. This is his eldest son and he is called Rama. The word of his father is sacred to him. Rama is a great soul. He has conquered his senses and he is famed for his prowess. He was asked by his father to spend 14 years in the Dandaka forest and I accompanied him. I am his younger brother. To me, the only God is my brother and my only religion is to obey him in everything. Lakshmana is my name. Even as the glory of the sun cannot exist without the sun, Sita, the wife of Rama, came with him to the forest. When she happened to be alone in the ashrama, Sita was captured by a Rakshasa and we do not know where he dwells. While we were wandering in search of my brother's wife, we came across Dhanu, a celestial being, who had been pushed down to the earth because of a curse. He told us that there is a chieftain of the monkeys by name Sugriva and that we should seek him out. We were told that he would help us in our search. He said, Sugriva is a great hero and he will certainly help you to find your wife. He will find out who stole her and find where she is. Dhanu went back to the heavens after telling us about your king. Here is where he is supposed to live. Rama and I are on this hill Rishyamukha for the sole purpose of meeting Sugriva, your master. We seek his help. My brother wants him to help him in his quest for his wife. It is indeed the vagaries of fate which have made a plaything of this noble Rama, the son of Dasharatha, the refuge of all those who are in trouble the home of Dharma and truth, the sole hope of the entire populace of Kosala, the honored prince of the country, the eldest son of an emperor, a hero who possesses prowess and valor known all over the world. This Rama is now reduced to a state when he has to seek the help of others to achieve his end. Rama is sunk in sorrow, and your master should help him. Overcome with emotion, Lakshmana was talking while tears poured down his face. Hanuman watched him and said, "It is the good fortune of my master Sugriva that such a noble soul, who is without anger, who has the senses under control, who is like a god among human beings, should desire friendship with him. His troubles are over, and my master will be happy once he makes friendship with you." They stood silent for a moment, and Hanuman continued, I will take you to Sugriva. He has had his share of misfortunes. He was driven out of his kingdom, and his wife was taken from him by his brother Vali. He has been treated ill by his brother, and believe me, my master will do his utmost to find Sita for you. Lakshmana turned to Rama and said, Rama, I feel that our task will be accomplished with the help of the chief of the monkeys. This son of Vayu seems to be a truthful person. In fact, he seems to me to be incapable of even uttering a falsehood. Hanuman took both of them on his broad back and went to the presence of Sugriva. The peak where Sugriva was dwelling was named Malaya, and it was part of Rishyamukha. Hanuman went to the presence of Sugriva with the brothers and told him, This is Rama. He is very wise man and a great warrior. He has his brother with him, and I met them when they were wandering about. Hanuman told Sugriva about the circumstances which had brought them to Dandaka and now to Rishyamukha. He has been asked to meet you, said Hanuman. He was told that he should seek your aid in searching for Sita. These two brothers are valiant and powerful, and it is but meet that you should honor them accordingly. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Hanuman. Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanama Varanane Manojavam Maratulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Bhatatmajam Vanayutamukyam Shri Rama Dutam Shirasa Namami Shri Rama Dutam Manasa Smarami. Om Shri Ramar Pranamastu. Chapter 2 of Ramayana's Kishkinda Kanda. A friendship is forged. Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Sugriva was greatly relieved when he heard that they were not emissaries from Vali. His fear vanished, and he welcomed Rama with a great show of affection. He said, Hanuman, the son of Vayu, told me all about you and your greatness. You are a terror to your enemies, and you are righteous. The fact that you desire friendship with me is a great honor you are bestowing on me. I consider it my good fortune that you should have come to me seeking my hand in friendship. Here is my hand which I hold out to you with affection. Please accept my gesture of love. Let there form between you and me a kinship which nothing can break. Rama took his outstretched hand in his and embraced Sugriva. Hanuman had shed the guise of a brahmachari which he had put on when he went out to meet Rama. He now kindled a fire with 2 twigs of arani. He worshipped the fire with offerings of flowers and brought the fire and placed it in front of them. Rama and Sugriva went round the fire and took the oath that they would remain friends forever. They were very happy at this new friendship which had been formed. They felt that something momentous had been achieved. They were now like long lost friends. So well did each welcome the other's affection. You have become my good friend. From now on, everything will be shared by us, whether it is happiness or sorrow. Thus they spoke to each other. Sugriva broke a branch from a sala tree which was nearby and placed it on the ground. He made Rama sit on it and he sat beside him. Hanuman the wise at once broke a branch from a sandalwood tree and offered it to Lakshmana as a seat. Sugriva spoke with tears in his eyes and told Rama about his misfortunes. He said, Rama, I am a very unhappy person. I was insulted by my brother and driven away from my land and kingdom. My wife was stolen from me and I have found refuge in this mountain, which is the only place where an enemy cannot touch me. I want you to protect me from Vali, my brother. You are my refuge. Rama was touched by the sufferings of Sugriva. He said, I know that the meaning of friendship is to help each other. I will, this very moment, kill Vali. My arrows, sharp and keen, radiant as the rays of the sun, with their ends beautified by the feathers of the eagle, which are as fearful as the Vajra of Indra, will hiss like angry snakes and find a home in the chest of Vali. I assure you that Vali will fall on the ground with my arrow lodged in his chest. His words made Sugriva happy. He spoke with a great show of gratitude. With your grace, I will get the kingdom back and my wife too. I will see my enemy destroyed and I will live without the fear which has been haunting me all these years. I will sleep in peace from now onwards. When they were talking thus, Sita's left eye, which was like a lotus petal, throbbed suddenly. And so did the tawny left eye of Vali, and Ravana was puzzled since his left eye, crimson like blood, throbbed all on a sudden. Sugriva continued talking. He said, This Hanuman, who is my minister, told me all about you and the many mishaps which have been visited on you. I am sure your sorrow will soon disappear. The Vedas had once been stolen by the Rakshasa Madhu and Kaithabha, and they were rescued by Narayana. Even so, you will find that I will institute a search for your beloved wife and bring her to you. Whether she is concealed in the nether regions or in the heavenly haunts, I will find her for you. You can depend on my word. I want to tell you about a recent occurrence. The five of us were sitting on the top of this peak, as is our custom, and we suddenly saw something in the sky. We saw a Rakshasa dark as a rain cloud and just as huge. And in his left arm he held a beautiful woman who was glowing golden like a streak of lightning. She was wriggling like a queen serpent and he held her fast. She was crying out, Rama, Lakshmana. From what you say, it must have been your wife who was carried away. We saw her. While we were wondering about them, there dropped in our midst a small bundle tied up in yellow silk. She had taken off some of her ornaments and had hastily tied them up in a piece of silk torn from her mantle. It was a quick gesture and she hoped perhaps that somehow you would get to know of it. We have kept the bundle very carefully and I will bring it to you. See if the jewels belong to Sita. Rama was greatly excited and exclaimed, Why do you tarry, my friend? Bring them to me at once and let me see them. Sugriva leaped from his seat and ran to a cave which was nearby. In a moment he was back with a small bundle tied up in yellow silk. He placed it before Rama. Rama knew the silk. It was Sita's favorite mantle. With trembling hands, he took up the jewels tied up in the scrap of yellow cloth, and his face, drenched as it was with tears, seemed like the moon in winter, pale and lifeless. Sita, he cried out and fell down in a faint. They revived him, and holding the bundle to his heart, he sighed for a while and looked piteously at Lakshmana. He said, Lakshmana, look at this scrap of silk thrown by my beloved while she was being taken away. Look at these jewels. They have not lost their shape, and that is because they must have landed on the grassy slopes. My eyes are blurred with tears. My child, tell me, are they Sita's jewels? I am overcome with grief, which has been renewed by the sight of these. Tell me which ornaments she has thrown. Lakshmana cried too and said, I have never looked at her face nor at her hands. I cannot recognize the bangles, nor can I her earrings. But these anklets I know, since every morning I would fall at her feet and take her blessings. Rama turned to Sugriva and said, Tell me more about how you saw my beloved Sita. Where were you when you saw her? He continued, That sinner who has stolen my wife will soon realize that the gates of the city of death are wide open to receive him. I am angry with him, and that means that he will not live very long. Tell me where he lives, and I will this moment go and end his sinful life. Jai Shri Ram. Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanama Varanane. Om Shri Ramarpanamastu. Chapter 2, Part 2 of Ramayana's Kishkinda Kanda. A friendship is forged. Shri Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunataya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Sugriva was very affectionate by nature, and tears sprang to his eyes when he saw the distress of Rama. He said, I know nothing about him, Rama. I only know that he is a Rakshasa. I do not know who he is, what his ancestry is, what his valor is like, nor where he lives. I saw them flash past, and in that one moment I could gather that he was a Rakshasa. I remember her calling out your name and that of Lakshmana, and though I knew nothing of you then, I gather now that it was your wife whom he was carrying away. But do not be unhappy. I swear I will make every attempt to get her back and make you happy. Very soon you will be rid of this grief which is killing you, and you will find Sita by your side. It is not right that you should be so despondent. Wipe those tears and regain your poise, which is natural to you. It is not proper for me to tell you the truths which you must know already. But then, when one is unhappy, one is apt to forget what one has been taught and observed all the time. A man who is contented will not give way to grief, whether he is in grave trouble or when he has lost all his wealth, or even when his life is in danger. He will remain placid, calm, and unaffected by these buffetings of fate. It is only a man who is lacking in courage who lets grief get the better of him. I ask you on my bended knees, please abandon this grief. It robs you of your naturalness, and you will lose your peace of mind, and that is a terrible state of affairs. Extreme grief will make you dislike even the thought of being alive. Abandon this state of mind. Be brave and hopeful. I have been accepted as a friend by you, and because of that privilege which you have granted me, I am talking to you like this. Do not be swayed by emotions. Rama was touched by the concern of Sugriva, and his words had a soothing effect on his troubled mind. Till now, he had only Lakshmana to share his grief, but now he had found a friend, and to him he could unburden his heart. He regained a semblance of composure and said, "My friend, Sugriva, you are indeed a good friend, since you know the right words to say when I am unhappy. Your affection for me has, to a large extent, comforted me, and I will soon regain the peace of mind which I was almost losing. It is rare to find a friend, particularly when one is in trouble. I depend on you to look for this Ravana and find out where he has concealed my wife. Tell me what I should do for you. Like seeds sown on good fertile soil during the rainy season, your words will be fruitful, and you will reap the benefit very soon. Remember that these words of mine, which are spoken out of my affection, should be considered as words of promise. I will never go back on my word once it is given. I have never been uttered an untruth, and I will not do so hereafter. I swear to you in the name of truth that I will do what you want me to do to make you happy." Sugriva was thrilled by the solemn promise of Rama. Rama had sworn that he would help him achieve his dream. He has been suffering all these years, and now he had found a savior. The best among men and the wise monkey were friends, and Sugriva was convinced that his troubles were at an end. He said, "The moment you accepted me as your friend, I am sure the gods have let their kind eyes rest on me. With your help, one can attain the heavens and reign supreme there. What then of a mere earthly kingdom belonging to monkeys? I have been honored since such a great man like you should have taken my hand and in front of sacred fire said that you are my friend. You may be sure that I will not forget this in a hurry. It is not right to talk about one's own self and one's prowess, but I will be able to do what seems impossible. Once a friendship is formed between two, then other feelings vanish except the love for each other. It is immaterial whether the friend is rich or poor, unhappy or contented, good or evil. These qualities should not stand in the way of friendship. For the sake of a friend, a man should be ready to give up anything, his wealth, his comforts, and if need be, his life itself. I will follow rules since I am your friend, and I will help you in every way. I swear." Jai Shri Ram. Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanama Varanane. Om Shri Ramarpanamastu. Chapter 3 of Ramayana's Kishkinda Kanda. Vali and Sugriva. Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. They had been talking for a while, and Rama had regained his composure. The sight of Sita's jewels had upset him, but he was now his old self, and he waited for Sugriva to tell him about the quarrel he had with his brother. Lakshmana, Rama, Sugriva, and Hanuman were all seated on branches of trees which had been felled on the ground. "Rama," began Sugriva, "I have been spending my days in constant fear of my brother. I have been ill-treated by him, and he has been trying to kill me. I have eluded death thus far, and I am afraid of him all the time, and of his threat to kill me. It is up to you to help me. I must be rid of this fear of Wali forever. I want peace of mind." Rama smiled softly at him and said, "As you rightly observed, a friend considers the grief of his friend as his own and tries to help him. To hurt is second nature to an enemy, and I will kill Wali, who has stolen your wife. Look at these arrows of mine. These feathered friends of mine, inlaid with gold, have the power to kill even as Indra's Vajra. They are like angry serpents and they have never failed me. Your brother, who is a brother but in his name, has become your enemy. I assure you that you will see him fallen on the ground like a mountain split by a thunderbolt." Sugriva embraced Rama for the warmth of his affection and said, "I will unburden my unhappiness to you. I was driven away from my country by my arrogant brother. Those who were dear to me were imprisoned. He has sent several monkeys to kill me, but they have been killed by me. I thought that you were also sent by him. Such is my fear of him that I would not welcome you to Rishyamuka. I was certain that you were here to hurt me. Your bows and arrows made me more suspicious than ever. A man in danger and dread is afraid of the passing breeze even. These four are my only faithful friends, and because of their words of comfort, I am alive. I will tell you the story of our enmity. Wali is my elder brother. He was my father's favorite and he was very dear to me. I was devoted to him. After the death of my father, he was crowned king since he was the elder son. I was his subject and I obeyed him in everything he said. We were very happy together. There was an Asura by name Mayavi, and he was the eldest son of Dundubi. It has been said that there was some enmity between him and Wali over some women. One night, when everyone was asleep, Mayavi came to Kishkindha, where Wali was ruling. He roared at the gateway and called out to Wali to fight with him. My brother was sleeping soundly and he was roused from his sleep. He rushed to answer the challenge of the Asura. His wives and myself requested him not to be impulsive and asked him to think twice before rushing to the fight. But he would not be stopped. Because of my love for him, I went with him. Mayavi, who challenged Wali, saw the two of us emerging from the gateway and he was suddenly afraid. He began to run. We pursued him and we covered a considerable distance. It was not a very dark night since the moon was shining and lighted our way. Suddenly the Asura vanished from our sight. He had entered a cave whose mouth was well hidden by grass and creepers which were growing there. We went there too and waited for him to come out. Wali knew that he had entered the cave, and since he saw him do so, his anger knew no bounds, and he told me, "Sugriva, I will enter the cave and kill that Asura. Till I come back, you should wait here right at the mouth of this cave. Guard it very carefully." Prostrating before him, I told him that I will do so. Wali entered the cave. Believe me, Rama, 1 year passed since he entered the cave and I stood waiting for him. I was afraid to leave the spot and at the same time afraid of the happenings inside the cave. I did not know what was taking place. I was afraid that my brother was faring poorly in the fight with the Asura. I was unhappy and yet I stayed on since Wali had told me that I should. After a long time, out of the cave flowed blood. I was horrified to see so much blood frothing out of the mouth of the cave. I thought I heard the roar of the Asura, and I thought I heard the voice of my brother, weak and helpless in the grip of death. I assumed that my brother was dead, and I was very sad. but I was afraid of the Asura. I was sure he would come out and kill me too. Therefore, I took a large boulder and closed the mouth of the cave with it, and after offering Tarpana to my brother, came back to Kishkinda. I did not tell anyone about the happenings at the cave, but they pressed me and forced the truth out of me. After due consideration, the ministers decided to crown me as the king. I was ruling the kingdom, and suddenly one day Wali came. He saw that I had been made king, and his eyes grew red with anger. He imprisoned the ministers who had crowned me and spoke harshly to me. He spoke words which hurt like arrows. Still, I did not talk back since he was my elder brother. I fell at his feet the moment he came to the city. He did not heed me and my humble love. I said, "It is fortunate that you are alive and that you have come back to us. You are our Lord, and please take this white umbrella which is rightfully yours. For a whole year I waited at the mouth of the cave, and you did not come out. Later I saw blood gushing out of it, and I was grieved. I was certain that you had been killed. I was scared lest the Asura should now attack me. When such a powerful fighter like you had been vanquished, I did not have hopes of being able to withstand his strength. I therefore closed the mouth of the cave to prevent his coming out and came back to our Kishkinda. I never asked to be made king. The citizens and the ministers thought that the country needed a king, and since I am the younger brother of their king, they crowned me. But all that is over, my brother. Now that you have come back, please take back what is yours. I will as before be your devoted slave. I have guarded the kingdom carefully, and please be seated on the throne. Do not be angry with me. I stand as a suppliant before you. Do not spurn me, since I meant you no harm." Wali would not listen to my words. He would not look at me, and he spoke insulting in the midst of the entire court. The elders were there and the ministers, and in their midst he said, "This sinner has told you only the first half of the story. After I had entered the cave, I was able to kill Mayavi after a long interval of more than a year. It was his blood which flooded the cave and flowed out. When I tried to come out, I found that the mouth of the cave had been closed. I could not find the opening at all. I called out, 'Sugriva,' several times, and there was no response. It was all to no purpose. I was only wasting my breath. Finally, I broke the rock into bits with my fist, and I came out and hurried to Kishkinda. And what do I find? This brother of mine is seated on the throne. I know that he grabbed the chance that came his way, and his intention was to get rid of me. I tried to tell him that his death was the last thing I desired, but it was of no avail. He threw me out of the city. I had no place to call mine. I wandered all over the world and finally came to Rishyamukha. Wali cannot come here because of a curse, and so I feel secure only here. I have told you everything, Rama, and it is a painful story. Even at this distance of time, when I remember the incidents, they come back fresh to my mind, and I can never forget the pain and the humiliation to which I have been subjected by my brother, whom I once worshipped like a father." He was crying openly now, and it was Rama's turn to pacify him and assure him that Wali would soon be dead. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Jai Shri Ram. Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattuliyam Ramanama Varanane. Om Shri Ramarpanamastu. Chapter 4 of Ramayana's Kishkinda Kanda, the Valor of Wali. Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunataya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Sugriva said, Rama, I have no doubt that your arrows will find a home in the chest of my enemy. But let me tell you something about the valor of my brother. He is brave, firm, and valiant. He could leap across from the western sea to the eastern easily when the sun had not yet risen. He could span the very distance between the south and the north with a single leap. From the mountain top, he could pull out a peak and fling it in far, all in sport. In the exuberance of spirits, he would pull out trees along the path he found in the forests and laugh when they fell down. There was an asura by name Dundubi who was as strong as 1,000 elephants. He was very fond of assuming the form of a buffalo. He had been fortunate to have obtained some boons, and because of that he felt there was no one equal to him. He went to the sea and addressed Varuna, the lord of the seas. I want to fight with you. I challenge you to give me a fight. Varuna replied, You are too mighty for me. I am certain that I will not be able to fight with you. But I know that your arms are itching to fight, to wrestle with someone, and I know just the right person for it. In the north, the quarter of the gods, there is a mountain by name Himavan. He is known as the king of all mountains. He is the dwelling place of many tapaswins. The mountain is full of waterfalls and it has many caves where wild animals have made their homes. Himavan has been chosen as his father-in-law by Lord Mahadeva himself. Himavan will offer you resistance and you can wrestle with him to your heart's content. The Asura thought that the sea was too much of a cover to be a worthy opponent, and like an arrow shot by a good archer, went straight and fast to the mountain Himavan. There he played havoc among the peaks and the forest trees and shouted at the mountain. A white form, very much like a cloud, was assumed by Himavan. He stood at the top of a peak and said, Dundubi, you are a righteous asura and I am a tapasvi unacquainted with the skill you possess. The art of fighting is something I have not learned. I am your suppliant. Do not oppress me since I am not able to withstand your valor. Dundubi stopped in his tracks and said, You will have to oblige me irrespective of your ability or inability to fight. Or else tell me of someone who will dare to fight with me. Himavan said, There is a beautiful city named Kishkinda. A powerful monkey by name Vali dwells there. He is the ruler of the city. He is the son of Indra and he is reputed to be extremely powerful. Even as Indra fought with Namuchi, this Vali might fight with you since he is a fighter and you can have some kind of opposition if you fight with him. There is no use in your challenging water and rocks or the trees. I assure you, Vali will make you happy. Dundubi, in the form of a buffalo, flew in the sky looking like an immense rain cloud and reached Kishkinda. He stood at the gateway of the city and pawing the ground with his great hoofs, he let out a war cry summoning Vali to fight. His roar was like the sound made by the instrument by name Dundubi. Vali was in his harem and he came out angry with his challenger. He came to the gates of Kishkinda and said, Why do you make so much noise here? I know who you are. You are Dundubi. If you have any desire to stay alive, get away from here and do not incense me. Dundubi would not go. He wanted to fight with Vali. He said, Do not brag about your valor in the presence of your women. If you so desire, I will wait till morning so that you can have a happy night which will be your last night on the earth. I have been told that you will be able to give me a good fight, and this was said by none other than the cowardly mountain Himavan. I am very eager to fight with you. I have come specially to challenge you for a good fight with me. Wali smiled with the women who surrounded him and sent them back to the harem. He then spoke to Dundubi. Come, let us fight. I am neither drunk nor am I immersed in the pleasure of the harem as you seem to imply. Wali placed around his neck the garland of gold given to him by Indra and came out to fight with Dundubi. There was a fierce fight between the two. Both were very powerful, but as the duel continued, the Asura was losing ground. Wali lifted him and flung him on the ground. So violently was he thrown that he lost his life in that very moment. Blood gushed forth out of his torn limbs and out of his mouth. Wali's anger had not abated. He lifted the dead Asura as he would a clod of mud and flung him far into the distance. It fell yojana away from the gates of Kishkinda. While it was traveling in the air, drops of blood from the body were wafted by the passing breeze, and they fell on the ground where the Rishi Matanga had his ashram. The Rishi was very angry since the spot became polluted by the falling of the drops of blood from the dead form of an Asura. He was very angry. He said, evidently the person guilty of this misdemeanor is wicked, evil-minded and willful. He came out to see who it was and found the body of Dundubi coursing through the air, and he saw that Wali had done this. He cursed Wali. This ashrama of mine has become unclean because of Wali. If at any time he sets foot in this vicinity, he will die. Sugriva continued. Rama, a yojana round the ashrama was forbidden ground for him. The Rishi said, a yojana around should be avoided by Wali. It should not be used by his friends either. My trees and shrubs and flowering creepers have been uprooted by the dead body of Dundubi, and Wali is responsible for this. I cannot forgive him for this atrocity. Hearing his words, the monkeys near the ashrama went away from there. Wali wanted to know why they had all come away from Matanga's ashrama, and he was told by them about the curse of the Rishi. Wali rushed to the presence of the Rishi and prostrated before him. He stood humbly before him and sought his forgiveness. But the Rishi ignored him and entered his ashrama without even looking at him. Wali returned to his city in a dejected frame of mind. Ever since then, he has not dared to set foot on this lovely mountain by name Rishyamukha. I am living here in comparative peace, since I know for certain that he will not come here. Rama, come with me and I will show you something. Sugriva led Rama to a place nearby, and there was the immense skeleton of Dundubi. Sugriva said, my brother is very strong and powerful. Look, for instance, at these sala trees. Wali can, with a strong fist, denude the trees of all its leaves. I have told you about my brother and about his valor. How can you kill him in a fight, and that single-handed? I am worried about the encounter. Lakshmana was amused by the words of Sugriva. He smiled and asked, evidently, you are in two minds as to whether my brother will be able to keep his word or not. Tell me, what should my brother do to convince you that he is more powerful than your brother and that he can kill him? Rama wants to please you and he will prove his strength to you. Tell us, what act of Rama's will set your mind at rest and make you have faith in him? How can Rama prove to you that he can kill Wali? Jai Shri Ram. Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanama Varanane. Om Shri Ramarpanamastu.